And for an analysis of China-Vietnam relations, let's turn to Sourabh Gupta. He's a senior Asia-Pacific International Relations Policy Specialist at the Institute for China-America Studies. Always great to see you.
Hey, Elaine.
Well, we heard about the economic impact. There's tourism as well. But when it comes to this two-day state visit, what do you think stands out to you? What were the biggest takeaways?
I think the biggest takeaway is its comprehensiveness. Usually these state visits are about deepening political relations, trade connectivity, etc., etc. I think this one stood out in terms of the comprehensiveness of engagement of the Chinese president across the political spectrum in Vietnam and beyond. And I think this is really, truly a high watermark in time. I think Vietnam-China relations have a very good potential going forward, and I'm hoping that there will be a lot of trade and investment links between the two countries, and that they will be integrated from a regional and international supply chain perspective.
You speak regionally here. You have a big country, a small country. They're in the same neighborhood, though. Where else do these countries, and what do they really have in common in what areas? And there's some cultural similarities as well, but let's talk about their common interests.
I think the most common interest is prosperity and development and prosperity. You know, President Xi has been talking about the right to development through much of the year, especially with the sanctions that he is facing from the United States. For Vietnam, too, which is at a lower level of prosperity and wealth compared to China and sees an immense horizon. I'm talking 35 to 50 years of rapid growth for them, too. I think investment, growth, and prosperity is the most important consideration. Of course, not at the expense of ceding, surrendering your security or your sovereignty, etc. And nobody in Asia or anywhere wants to do that or is going to do that. But these two countries are locked in at this point of time in industrial supply chains, which is at the core, which is at the heart of engendering prosperity in these two countries and in the Asia Pacific. And I think the coming together of the two countries from a connectivity and trade standpoint and overlaid with this comprehensive political cooperation, I think bodes well for the future.
And let's turn to President Xi Jinping's foreign diplomacy. We've seen him traveling abroad now for the last several months for face-to-face visits all over the world, right here in Vietnam for a two-day state visit. Let's talk about the importance of seeing someone face-to-face, shaking hands, doing deals, now when things have really been opened up now.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's very, very important, and I think the Chinese government and the Chinese leadership will be the first to say that. Because of COVID, a lot of these connections got ruptured. I mean, people did it virtually, but that connection just does not work. I mean, even just before we had President Xi coming to Vietnam, we had the European Commission head and the European president in China, and that meeting, the EU-China summit, was the first one since I think 2019. This meeting, of course, is coming after many years. I think it really pressing the flesh, meeting with your compatriots, particularly with those who you have areas of common interest, allows you to really deepen that relationship. And we can see also President Xi in a much more relaxed tone as he engages his counterparts. We saw that in San Francisco when he met with President Biden, and here we see even with the Vietnamese leadership across the board, with smiles breaking out. And I think this goes a long way, not just among the leadership, but among the populations, to come to look at each other through a different lens and a different perspective.
All right, always great to get your take, Sourabh Gupta. Thank you so much for joining us.